Hello, welcome. This short video is for the A2 ICT students who have not done programming before and they need to do their programming project now. Let's have a look at the features, okay? What is programming? Programming basically is to communicate with a computer. Specifically, it's the processor you're communicating with by giving instructions and telling it what to do. For example, you tell it how to convert currencies between US dollar and British pound. So what language do we use to communicate with the computer? It's binary numbers, because the computer can only understand zeros and ones. That's because it's an electronic computer. It's using electricity on and off to represent ones and zeros. So all instructions and all the data that to work with, therefore, must be in binary format. Binary format, and is the first generation of programming languages, and is also called a machine code. The machine understands this one without any translation. For example, this string of ones and zeros could represent some kind of calculation with data in there. We're going to skip the problems and the advantages because it is a primer. The second generation of programming languages is assembly language. Machine codes, the binary form, is hard to read, hard to understand, and also hard to remember. So therefore, there are a lot of problems, such as difficulty to learn, difficulty to debug, and very low productivity. Therefore, engineers very soon developed assembly language. Now they use special words, coded words, load, add, sub, store, jump, for example, to represent instructions. And they use direct access to registers, R1, R2, and so on, to store data. This one is better than binary form because it's much easier for humans to read and understand. It has brought about improved productivity, but there are still problems because this one is very much machine dependent. This refers to the internal structure of the processor. Anyone code with this is a specialist, is a computer scientist. Now, for most people, we just want to use computers to solve our problems. We don't necessarily want to be a programmer. What do? Third generation of programming languages. People in different fields, many different fields, developed their own higher level language, which is close to English. Easy for people to understand. That is the third generation. For example, Java, C#, ActionScript, VB, Python, and so on. Many languages. Fortran. This is one example. If, in brackets, green ball move equals to done, then you move this one by increasing its y coordinate by 10. So you can understand this one is very much like English, structured English. So that's the higher level language. This makes it easier for humans to learn, to remember, and to write programs, so that they can focus on working out a solution instead of remembering the syntax of the programming languages. But because you are using this very close to English, where the computer will not understand it, the computer will only understand what? Binary form of instructions. Yeah, therefore, this needs to be translated. So that's a problem, you need to translate it. The biggest advantage of this generation of language is that it enables people to focus on solving problems rather than focusing on programming. Similarly, there's a fourth generation of programming languages, which is called the declarative language. SQL, structured query language, is one example of this. SQL is specifically used for database manipulation. For example, this line is to instruct the computer to create a database called myContact. Within the database, then you can create tables. For example, you may have created a table, myTable, then you need to enter data into it. So this line of instruction will enter first name, surname, phone number into that table. It doesn't tell you how to do it, it tells you what you want. That's declarative language. Again, we're going to skip the problems and the advantages. What we want to do now is to focus on the features, because most of us are using the third generation language. So we need to know the features. The first feature is that the use of variables. Variables are used to store data. When you use a variable, you usually declare the variable by giving its unique identifier and the data type, and then retrieve the value to use it. The next feature is assignment. That's the assignment of value to a variable to store it. Next one, sequence. Sequence means the execution of instructions is in the order of the instructions appearance in the program. If it appears first, then it will be done first, executed first. Okay, there are exceptions. For example, you can change the sequence by using iteration. Iteration means repeating. So you repeat this section of code again and again and again without moving on to the next section. So you have broken the sequence. We're going to show examples later. So now let's look at another feature that can alter the sequence, which is selection. Choose which path to go down by following the criteria. Things like if. And most of the third generation languages will use functions and procedures. Functions and procedures are blocks of codes with a unique identifier. When you need to run the block of code, you just call the identifier. And the last one is the or need translation, as we mentioned before, because third generation is higher level language, it's close to humans, far away from machine code. Therefore, you need to be translated into machine code. Here's an example of sequence. Trace is a function. So you call the trace function to print out the text on screen. This is the sequence of the code. The code appears in the program in this sequence. If sequence is in action, that means this printout will be first, so I am the first line. Then the second following that is I am the last line because you're running in sequence. And then you do I am the fourth line. The printout is here on screen. I am the first, I am the last, I'm the fourth, I'm the third. So from this section, you can see the sequence is in action. We're going to see this again. Okay, the second part is also a sequence of instructions. There are 5 of them, actually 6 of them, 6 trace functions from change of order as a title, and then you have hello, I'm the last, I'm the fourth, third, second, first. So that's basically following the order of the instructions. It doesn't matter what the instruction is, it's just following the order. Okay, sequence. Next one is selection. Using if statements or switch statements, you can alter the sequence. Now this is one example. Okay, one example, by pressing keys on the keyboard, you can move the green ball or the blue ball in different directions. Switch statements, this key code value could be 37, could be 38, could be 39, could be 40, and so on and so on. If it's not one of the values listed here, then it will be ignored. Only react when it's 37 by moving the green ball left. And when it's 38, moving the ball up, so on and so on. That's using switch statement to change the sequence, change which line of the code instructions is executed. Okay, that's selection using if statement and switch statement. We have seen one if statement earlier. I'm going to quickly show you where we saw that. That's the if statement. Okay, if statement, if the green ball is down, then you move it by 10 iteration. Okay. For the moment, skip the top part. That's using array to store high scores in the game. Okay, if you focus on this one, for, from the word for to this curly brace. Okay, that is a for statement, a for loop. For loop is one repetition, repeating a known number of times of the code which is in the curly braces. This one says start from counter 0, S0, and up to 5. You run this 5 times basically. That's what you get. First time, second time, third time, and you get all the values out of the array. So therefore you got the high score list.